PM, what was your tour through this centre like? What do you think, and how do you think this can encourage more people to take up the vaccination?
I came to see how the vaccination operation is proceeding. It's a very major operation. We're going to cover everybody in Singapore, all the residents, adults, citizens and non-citizens. And we have been progressively rolling it out, debugging our process, getting the patient journey worked out, reassuring people, explaining to them why this will protect them, how it will help to keep their family and their friends safe, and to help us all to get back to a more normal Singapore sooner, if a lot of people can get vaccinated and we are more protected against COVID-19. So I came to see how it was actually rolling out on the ground, not just the operation today, which is people come, queue up, register, interview, jab, but also to talk to them because they've been visited by the senior silver generation ambassadors. They've been talking to the grassroots leaders. We've been giving them reassurance, explaining to them what this is about, encouraging them to come forward and to get vaccinated. So I'm very happy to see that it's going smoothly. They have about 200 plus who have booked to come today, and so far everybody who has booked those slots has turned up. Very few no-shows. So I think that people are taking it seriously and in the right spirit, and I hope that Singaporeans will come forward and get vaccinated when your turn comes, because it's good for you, it's safe, it's free, and it'll help all of us. It'll take some time because first of all, you need 2 vaccinations, and it takes a few weeks to get its full effect. And secondly, you need to build up to vaccinate nearly everybody in Singapore before you have what people call herd immunity. So it will not be in time for us to have a normal, very exciting Chinese New Year. But it will help, and meanwhile, for Chinese New Year, I hope everybody will understand that this is not a normal year of the ox. We do have to take precautions. We have to restrain ourselves. When you low hay, please do it in your hearts. If you must have the sound, there are very good apps. You press the button and they will say the right words for you. And celebrate it in the right spirit, but keep ourselves safe so that perhaps a year from now, when the year of the tiger comes around, we will be roaring like a tiger.
PM, are you concerned about a rise in COVID-19 cases given the festive period that's upcoming, and also how are you planning to celebrate Chinese New Year yourself?
Yes, I am concerned. It is a risk because Chinese New Year, just like Hari Raya, just like the other festivals, Christmas, people visit one another in big numbers and you enjoy yourself. You have food, you have drinks, you have a good time, you gamble together, and each time you do that, I mean, there is a risk, and that means there is a danger of a super spreader event happening. And 1 or 2 cases, well, we can tamp it down. 5, 6, 7 cases in a cluster, if we are lucky, we work very hard, we trace hundreds of people, we can squeeze it down. But if I have a few dozen clusters like that, like was happening last year in February going into March, then you have a very real risk that you may go back to the situation you were in late March last year, April, when we had to lock down with a circuit breaker. And that's a very high and disruptive cost for all of us in Singapore to pay. So rather than take that risk, I think we all restrain ourselves, celebrate it differently this year, and let's make Singapore safe. You ask me what I'm going to do. Well, I'm going to celebrate. First, on the New Year morning, I'm going to do my usual visits to essential workers who are still working away during this period. This year, probably, I will go to the airport and to one of the hospitals to visit the frontline workers. Then I'll celebrate Chinese New Year at home with 8 visitors, not more. from the family.